You know what I like to do?
Talk into a microphone?
Yeah, and also get in on the action with sports
Have a big
interaction.
head.
Yeah. Wear bare feet in the freezing cold.
Be a dad.
Friggin' wear V-necks that are actually
It's not a V-neck, okay?
Sorry.
Sports interaction. NHL, NBA, MLB, so much more. It's the friend I don't have, clearly. Crazy Odds, best live and play. Download the app in Ontario. You can use the QR code at the bottom of the screen, or you can head to sportsinteraction.com/STPN to get started. 19 plus, please play responsibly and get better friends.
Yell at the computer. He does that too.
So, guys, we're going to do a pick your own adventure. You remember those books from school?
Yeah. Books.
Now, they both have a lot to do with each other, these two subjects. But I just didn't know which one you wanted to start with. Do you want to start with Dallas's poor performance against Vegas?
That came out of nowhere.
Or do you want to start with Jamie Benn's performance that led to him getting booted and not talking to the media, even though he's the captain, and then talk about Dallas's poor performance?
Well, Adam, those are two very unrelated things.
Well, I did say they were related.
Yeah.
I think the Jamie Benn incident leads to their poor performance.
So then we'll start.
think
That's the joke.
That's the starting point. No, but I'm answering his question instead of just joking about it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I
don't
simply couldn't. So for those
Answer a question plainly like an adult.
not on
What the
this show.
fuck are you talking about?
Couldn't be us. Not on this show.
Nope.
Honestly, it's not us very often.
No.
I want to read from Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. Never heard of him. He said that the lead line, the Dallas Stars defended captain Jamie Benn after he was ejected in the first period of their devastating 4-0 loss in Game 3. At 1:53 of the first period, Benn skated off to the locker room with a game misconduct penalty. The rule is Rule 59. Cross-checking match penalty can be assessed if the referee believes a player attempted to deliberately injure or did injure his opponent by cross-checking. So what happened was he knocked Mark Stone over. And, at the end of the day, that alone in the regular season is an interference penalty for sure. But we know it's the playoffs. And, you got it?
I accidentally played something on my phone.
Okay. But what, where the actual penalty was assessed is as Mark Stone is on the ground, and Mark Stone has had significant injury history recently.
Yes.
Jamie Benn decides, do you want to taste some carbon? And then puts his stick right into Mark Stone's face, full-blown cross-check. And Jamie Benn is not a small man. He's a big man.
He's a big fella.
With he's the kind of guy who's so big his muscles show through his jersey.
Yeah.
He's big. And he plays big. And people love the way that Jamie Benn plays. He's the captain of the team.
I think Stars fan like the way he plays.
I think they love it.
I think if you play against the Stars, you hate him a lot.
Jamie Benn, if you're a Leafs fan, you remember that in the Dallas Leafs game early on in the season, cross-checked Matthews right in the back, knowing that he has a back injury.
Which is why I don't understand why he didn't just do that to Mark Stone.
Cross-check him in the back.
Yeah. Number one, he has a surgically repaired back. And number two, the NHL and the Department of Player Safety told you that was perfectly fine.
Well, because he's only ever been fined for this, right? Now he will have a player hearing. Yeah, there will be a hearing. Mm-hmm. Now, I jokingly guessed on Twitter today that it'll be another $5,000 fine. If they have a hearing, it doesn't mean that he gets suspended. It means that they can suspend him more than, I think, 3 games, right? That's the rule?
No, when it's an in-person hearing,
Mm-hmm.
they can do 5 or more.
So this is not an in-person from what I understand.
No. And Maddie, you can use that screenshot if you want for everybody to see the attack on the head.
It was like, it really was.
It's idiotic. Like,
it's fucking dumb.
Let's call it what it is. I mean, I'm so there was a great gathering last night. There were people feigning disbelief at such a great leader in Jamie Benn doing something like this. And there was the rest of us with, eyes who watch hockey who are like, yeah, this is a historically dirty player. He's an incredibly dirty player. He's always been an incredibly dirty player. Well, I don't know if he's been suspended. I know there was something from 2013, but that's 10 years ago. You know what I mean? This whole thing with Peros and he was never suspended in his career. Well, that means he did nothing dirty ever then. Great.
Couldn't.
No, Jamie Benn plays. Listen, I'm sure he's a wonderful guy and gives teddy bears and sign pucks and everything to all the good little boys and girls around the arena. He plays like an absolute scumbag. And there are ways to play like a scumbag within the lines. He never plays like a scumbag within the lines, and he's never held to account for it. So I would like to ask the Department of Player Safety, do you like your monster, Dr. Frankenstein?
Well,
you created this.
So I want
you suck at your job.
I want to ask you this. I'm going to read you these quotes. I want to hear what you think, okay? Peter DeBoer, his coach. Ben made a mistake on the play. I don't think anyone in the building feels worse than he does about it. I'm not going to pile on him.
The family that paid a shitload of money to go to a playoff game, they don't feel worse?
He's been a leader here for his entire career and leads by example every day on and off the ice. And I don't doubt that. He made a mistake. Fortunately, Mark Stone is okay.
Fortunately, Mark Stone is okay, which is going to be the point that the Dallas Stars try to emphasize. You know what? I don't think Jamie Benn should use that as an argument during his hearing, though. No, what I think he should do is bring in the video of him breaking Dylan Larkin's neck. He should bring in the video of him cross-checking Dylan Larkin in the neck. Jesse brought it up so fast. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this, because we got to give a good shout out to the Winged Wheel podcast, our long
we love them,
who brought this to the attention of the Twitter sphere at the end of the 2021 season, or during the 2021 season. Jamie Benn decided to go to town on Dylan Larkin's neck and back, and it ended his season.
Yep.
And there was no discipline to follow that. Yeah, he was in the hospital. He didn't play anymore. Jamie Benn got no discipline.
Do you have the article up, or is that just the video?
It's just the video.
Because there was he was in the hospital for a while wearing like apparatus on his neck, and it's been articulated to me that this is a freak play. No. A freak play is when something happens by accident. Jamie Benn planted his stick in a cross-check hold or whatever, planted his stick into Dylan Larkin's neck. That's not an accident, guys. This is what I keep talking about with the Department of Player Safety, and maybe someone will eventually listen. You let players get away with this. You do not create a learning environment. You do not create a deterrent. Dylan Larkin, captain of a hockey team, I don't know if he was back then, but one of your star players gets
I don't believe
injured for the rest of the season. It was relatively late in the season, but he gets injured for the rest of the season because why? The injury didn't fall out of the friggin' sky. This dirty player who you enable to be a dirty player planted his stick into an opponent's neck, fracturing the thing. Not a league. It's not a league. Guys, when are you gonna...
It's funny that you're focused
Steve
here.
whining again. Just making valid points.
Jamie Benn must be a Leaf because you're whining. Or no, sorry, Mark Stone must be a Leaf because you're whining about.
Oh, I know. My noted favorite player ever, Mark Stone. Will you fuck off? Jeez.
It's funny that your focus here is on the Department of Player Safety, because during this whole incident, like, my focus was on Jamie Benn and like how this is a player who should never be captain for the Dallas Stars ever again. And if we want to go to, you have the quotes for
why not?
Well,
whatever you have the
quotes.
You have the quotes about everybody saying what happened post game and Pete DeBoer and all that nonsense, and like, who cares? This is a guy who, after this incident, refused to speak to the media. He sat in the locker room for two and a half periods, and then there's video of him heading to his fucking G-Wagon and leaving the arena.
Now,
all the housewives
what
pulling up.
happened? Like, did he refuse to speak to the media, or did the Stars...
He refused.
He refused to speak to the media. That is he is the captain of the Dallas Stars. If he needs to be out there, no PR's person is telling him not to be out there. And Steve, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna say, I didn't intend to do that. I feel bad for Mark Stone, and that's not my character. That was so easy.
I don't think
Was that not easy?
I don't think he thinks he did a thing.
I thought you should know, too, that George Peros, who is the director of Department of Player Safety, was at the game.
Yeah, I always try to support my friends.
So,
Him and Jamie Benn are buds.
are they?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. We've talked about it before.
Have we?
Not a league.
Peter DeBoer said, "We will live with the consequences, whatever they are. We will live with them tonight, and we will live with them going forward. It's a reactionary sport, heat of the moment sport. There's a lot of stuff going on the ice. I'm not the judge and the jury. I'm not going to play that tonight." Now, I want to move on to a couple other quotes because Sagan and Pavelski, in the absence of Jamie Benn speaking, had to speak for him.
Because he's a coward.
Well, it is. It doesn't look good. It does.
No, because he didn't want to face what he did, the consequences of what he didn't want to talk to anybody about his deliberate actions on the ice because he's a fucking coward.
So here, before you get to those quotes, sorry, Adam.
No.
So Jesse, it's funny. You're taking the approach that I think a lot of people are going to go, Steve, why the hell are you going after Department of Player Safety? Jamie Benn is the one who did the thing. And you're 100%.
I think it's both. I think you are so right about what you're talking about. This isn't a league because he should have been reprimanded for everything he's done in his career so far.
Jamie Benn is doing his job, which is, and we talked about what is and isn't a failure. Whether you call this a failure or a lesson, he learned a hell of a lesson last night. It's just, he should have learned that lesson before. Jamie Benn does his job every night by playing as hard as he can to try to help the Dallas Stars win. And in trying to do his job and help the Dallas Stars win, he walks the line and he dips a toe over the line and he dips a foot over the line. And Jamie Benn, for a very long time now, has been running 20 feet in front of the line.
And no one's told him to slow down.
No, why would they?
The Department of Player Safety is there for punishment, but it's there to act as a deterrent. It's there as a prevention for this sort of thing. This is why we keep yelling about these dinky little fines and these dinky little 1 and 2 game suspensions that in an 82 game season do not friggin' matter. Players are not concerned about getting suspended in October, November, in which Jamie Benn showed by Jamie Benn put Austin Matthews out of sorts for like 2 months with his crosscheck in one of the first games of the season. No repercussions whatsoever. So this dude has been able to do whatever he wants. A fine is supposed to be there as what?
A deterrent.
The precursor for a suspension. He was fined in a game in the playoffs last year, and the next game he did something else and was fined again. The next game? Not a league. So when I see Jamie Benn do something like this, I am absolutely not surprised to see a dirty, dirty, dirty player that has never been held accountable ever do it again. And like, he does annoying chicken shit stuff all the time, like what he did with Zach Hyman earlier this season. That's annoying chicken shit stuff. But this is like, he like execution style comes down on Mark Stone's neck. What a nut job. Like, what a nut job. But the league manufactures these nut jobs.
They enable
They enable it. Wear it, George. Wear it. This is your fault. This is the Department of Player Safety's fault. And the Texas market is going to be out of this playoff run because you stink at your job. Good Lord, do the sport a favor and resign. Sorry, Adam.
No problem. Dallas Ford, Tyler Seguin. Jamie's one of, if not the best captain in the league and a top leader. Collectively, we lost as a group. So he doesn't blame that. Joel Pavelski, former captain of the San Jose Sharks. Go ahead.
What's he going to say?
He was tied up and engaged and went for a little extra. Emotions get the best of us at all points. Now, at some point,
it's just a little extra.
So, and then they asked him, well, are you disappointed in Ben? And this is where the quote gets spicy. No. You guys ask if I'm disappointed in the guy I have so much respect for, who battles so hard. I have no problems with him. We have to be better from there. We're in the conference finals. They don't come around every day. We still have a little life. Now, here's my issue.
You have less life than you did before Jamie cross-checked him in the face.
If you're talking about
2
emotions
goals
getting the best of you, I find it odd that less than 2 minutes into the game, that's what the excuse is. I can see that in the third period. At any point in the third
You're
period.
down by 3, something.
And you're like
upset.
pissed, and it's like, no, you're not going to fucking do that in my house or whatever. But it's a minute and a half into the game.
This series was still there for the taking for the Dallas Stars.
Totally.
And Jamie Benn lost his cool, according to his own teammates. His emotions got the best of him a couple minutes into the game. And we haven't even talked about it led directly to 2 goals for Vegas. And after those 2 goals, Ottinger was completely out of sorts. He was shaky. He didn't have it. And the game was over. And essentially the series is over.
And that first period, it killed him. And then you get later on in the game, it's 4-0. Max Domi hits Nicholas Hague from behind.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm
because why not?
he then skated up to Hague to throw a couple of gloved punches at him. I'm just reading from Wish's article here. Domi was given a cross-checking and roughing minor and a 10-minute misconduct. Following those calls, that's when Dallas started throwing plastic bottles and garbage on the ice in protest.
The dude who threw the popcorn at Aiden Hill walking out of the tunnel, like, come on.
Did you see Aiden Hill's line?
I guess everything hit me that night. Like 10 out of 10.
That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Listen, I love a good rivalry. You know, in hockey, you're gonna have dirty plays. You are. It's just gonna happen.
Of course.
But okay, so the Max Domi one,
it's not the department of nothing bad is ever going to happen.
100%. And this is a violent sport. We love a violent sport. Max Domi hitting Hague from behind is, while not in the rules, something that you can see happening throughout the course of a season. You can. Don't tell me you can't.
No, you can. It's just
so hold on.
Premeditated chicken shit.
Sure, but you can see it happening.
Yes.
What makes the Jamie Benn thing stand out so much? And Dallas fans, and I've had Dallas fans in my mentions saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He never does this. I'm like, come on, guys. You watch more Dallas games than I do.
Jamie Benn is one of the top 5 dirtiest players in the
and he gets paid very much for that.
And his
scoring.
He beats up my team only twice a season. I can only imagine what people in the Central think.
100%. What my point is that what makes the Jamie Benn thing stand out so much is 3 factors. Number 1, it happens early in the game. Okay. Number 2, he's the captain. Number 3, he doesn't speak to the media afterwards. And you can tear me apart for that. You can say, oh, you're a member of the media, so this directly benefits you. Bro, hockey quotes usually are bullshit anyway. And I'm not down there with a fucking microphone. I'm not in those scrums after. It really actually doesn't. But what you do when you're a leader is you take responsibility for your actions. And there's no other way to look at this other than Jamie Benn threw the game. He threw the game for his team. And then he is their leader. He makes the secondary leaders on the team stand up for him and the head coach.
And he hid behind his coach. And he hid behind Seguin.
And his G-Way.
And he hid behind Pavelski. He hid behind all the players he left out there to dry on and off the ice.
And they may not be mad at him for it. And Dallas Stars fans may not be mad at him for it. But that doesn't change the reality of the situation, which is the leader didn't lead.
I don't expect any of them to hammer him publicly.
And in a 2-0 game, where you need to get that win to make it 2-1, you just can't. And I think a hockey fan, period, any hockey fan anywhere, if you were to say, okay, forget that you even know the player names, you don't know the teams. If I presented this situation, captain of one team goes after captain of another team, cross-checks him in the head. It's the conference finals. The team the team of the captain that cross-checks and does the bad stuff, they're the ones that are down. Is that a good idea? And every single person is going to say no. And this is where, like, the violence in hockey, like, yeah, I don't certain things I'm like, that's just a bullshit play. I expect violence. To a certain extent, I like violence. I still stand up when people fight. I'm a bit of a caveman that way. Do I think fighting should be out of the game? Probably, but I still do it. Call me a hypocrite. I am. But I have to tell you, it's just dumb. It's just stupid. It's stupid hockey. And you can't tell me, you can't convince me otherwise. Dallas is better than what they have shown in this series, and they didn't even get the chance to show it in Game 3.
No. And like, even a dirty hit, like we bring up Jacob Trouba a lot. There's a guy who walks the line.
Yep.
Right.
Most of his hits are pretty clean though.
Most of them. But there are.
They're overly violent, but within the rules.
Yes.
Yeah, but even the ones that step over the line, you're like, well, I understand it's a split-second decision, but again, oh man, it's a split-second decision.
One that he always makes.
One that he always makes is the hit button. Again, I just don't understand what the Department of Player Safety thinks their job in all of this is.
And so, yeah, you can take a look at the Department of Player Safety, who does no job in deterring these players. So then I look at, hey, these players who are established and they understand the rules and the rules they're playing with, and they go out there and they do these dangerous. What's up?
I'm putting my finger up because Jamie Benn has spoken to the media as of 9 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
And here's what he said.
Mr. Coward came out of his cave.
He says he wished he wouldn't have fallen on stone and used his stick as a landing point.
You're in the 4th grade.
Well, I mean, obviously,
you're an actual elementary school student.
Frank Saravalli actually retweeted. It's Jamie Hirsch with the quote. Frank Saravalli retweeted and said, "Damn, I wish this fork would stop making me so fat."
Oh no,
that's a good line. He said, here's the full quote. Here, Frank, from the fucking top wrote Saravalli. Wyshynski.
Fuck, me too, Frank.
Obviously,
me too.
Obviously didn't want to take a 5.
What?
That's a fucking funny line. And it is Frank's account because Frank had to get a verification badge because somebody was faking a Kyle Dubas thing yesterday and it looked like Frank and a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So Frank, unfortunately, now has to pay for Twitter. Jamie Benn of the Dallas Stars, when asked if he changed anything on the play, obviously didn't want to take a 5-minute penalty when the game happens fast, emotions are high. Obviously, I would not have liked to fall on him and I guess use my stick as the landing point.
Shut up.
Wyshynski followed up on talking with player safety if he'll use I fell on him as a defense. We'll probably go through the whole play starting from our end. I'll try to tell them how I was feeling and what was going on in the situation. So a non-answer.
Jeez. Dude's a bad captain.
It's not a listen. I don't think if we're all judged on our worst moments, we're all terrible people. Okay. So I think that 99% of the time, this guy is a great captain, and I think that the players love him, the fans love him. He's great in the community, all the things that make a great captain. But this is a big moment, and this is a bad moment. And you ran away, man. And I understand where you're coming from, Jesse. I think most of the time,
I think that when you are in the conference finals down 2-0 and this happens and everything we've outlined happens, that makes you a bad captain. You're not a good leader.
I think
this is the peak. Like, we're not getting into more situations where you are more necessary.
Yeah.
You are the most necessary in these circumstances. We judge players based on postseason success and the things that happen at the highest level. This is it.
It's a very different take on our Giannis conversation.
Yeah, you go back to the beginning of the show. It's like, well, this is just a stepping stone for them.
But it's just a stepping stone.
It's not
no,
even
it's his name is Mark, actually.